Hey everyone, Cyber Monday sale is finally live and we have the details of all the tanks that are available for silver as well as how much they cost. So for the list of tanks we have Chieftain 120 and FV4211 for Era 2, 121B and 279E for Tier 10 and Double Tap, and Kunze Panzer for Tier 9. However, the tanks are not cheap, they are very expensive, at least for World War II. Cold War 1 are still affordable, you can get Chieftain 120 as well as FV4211 for 50 million silver. Again, not cheap, but more affordable if you're a Cold War gamer, as you can earn a lot more silver in Cold War when playing premiums, as well as top tier premiums earn more silver. The tier 10, however, they are very expensive, 100 million per tank. So if you're only World War II gamer, this price is a little bit higher for you, especially that we didn't know how much they would cost roughly. So no one, I think, predicted or was expected to have this much silver. However, some people might still be able to buy one or maybe two, if they had to like sell some of the obsolete commanders, or maybe sell some tech tree tanks to get one of the tanks they really want and do not want to pay gold. But it'll take a while to recover that silver though. However, Wargaming did make custom games free, so I was actually one of the lucky ones that saved a lot of silver by not spending them on custom games. And I do play a lot as well. But I do understand a lot of players, they don't play that much, especially the World War II gamers, and they might be short on silver here and might only be able to afford one at a very expensive price. And moving on to our last tier, tier 9, you can get double tap and Kunze for 75 million. And if someone who doesn't have any of these tanks and want to buy all of them, it'll probably cost them, actually not probably, exactly cost them 450 million. And I think at best people might get one or two. I got two, as those are the one I was missing. But there is a silver lining though. If you have a friend that always offers to give you silver but didn't have any option to do so, now they have a chance to do that because they can gift these tanks for silver to you. So if you are short but you have a friend, now it's time to test that friendship. Again, not a cheap cost, but it is an option because we all have one friend that have enough silver, and gifting definitely provides a slight pro as opposed to the expensive raw price it has. In addition to that, we also have from the Vault collection, there are basically tier 2 and tier 3 slides that are available that you can buy them for gold. They're only purchasable during Black Friday. So if you have if you're into playing tier 2 and 3, this might be for you. But personally, I just got a double tap as well as Chieftain 120 for 125 million. I will have a link posted for all those tanks or how to play them, at least the tanks that are available for silver. So you can check out how they play as well as pin them under comments so you can watch the videos. Most of the videos are relatively new and the tanks haven't been buffed except double tap that was buffed, slightly buffed, still not a great tank. It's just one of the tanks that I was missing. So I'll be getting that tank. And check out the videos as well if you want to know the best setup for the tanks or how to play the tank in different maps. Now, moving on to season update notes, I will not be going over the details we have already covered or was available last week. You can check out the video on the end screen labeled all about the new season as well as tank comparison because those videos are already out. But now we'll be going over the more important or the newer update notes that were not available before and has just been released recently. And most of them are the buffs. So going over the buffs, most of them are, the accuracy and reload buffs. Can't go through all of them. You can go through the update notes. However, we go through some of the key ones here. Bagel Panzer is getting nerfed. 6.5 seconds of reload nerf on the ATGM as well as aim time nerf on the regular gun. And then most of the other lightly armored tanks are getting buffed. Reload accuracy like Leopard's Martyr, even the Super M48A5. Moving on to our USA tech tree, similar buffs. But let's go to the more important one that I liked. So the M1 Abrams line, they are getting the increased composite armor effectiveness against ATGM, as we did expect it. They mentioned it on stream, as well as slight reload buff. However, always noted that Abrahams were very weak against ATGMs, and this will help them with that. The buff also applies to M60AX and M60 Rise. Similar composite armor effectiveness against ATGMs to M1A1 as well as M1A2. So again, most of these are buffs, not really nerfs. However, slight buffs to actually G.I. Joe tanks as well. Mobile I was playing recently, just like reload accuracy buff, same with the cat. And a little bit love to Arctic hits, as they're pretty big tanks and cannot compete against the newer tanks like Weasel or the sneaky tanks. So a little bit buff to these bigger light tanks as well. Not major, but the major change comes into the Thumper. Thumper is no longer a tank destroyer, and that is really good news, especially because tank destroyer can't add stabilizer, and Thumper is terrible because the gun dispersion or the gun handling is really bad due to lack of stabilizer, and now it's being changed to heavy. It will not alter the playstyle, but you have accurate gun like the other high alpha heavy tanks, as you will have vertical stabilizer option. Camo is also getting reduced. The camo bonus of heavy tanks are being applied. There is a buff to terrain resistance, making it slightly better, as well as shot dispersion. But the major buff is adding the ability to vertical stabilizer, like changing class, as well as HP increase by 120. It's faster and better aim time. So overall, expect a respectable gun handling from Thumper, which was its issue for the longest time. And now actually Thumper is a tank that I can enjoy, because most of the high alpha tanks, they don't have 10 degrees of gun depression, or none of them has 10 degrees. But Thumper, if I'm not mistaken, does. If not 10, at least 9, and will be the highest gun depression for a high alpha tank in Era 3. Moving on to our French tanks, there's a nerf to Lorraine. Very few tanks got nerf, and Lorraine, this was one of the tanks I enjoyed, but it was a solid tank, and with a devastating clip, getting a nerf of 3.1 second. Buff to AMX40 as well as AMX32. Really nice buff to AMX40, especially after Oserio was released. Better rotation speed, slightly better reload. And not to mention, it has the secondary cannon as well. So that was about the updates. You can go over the update notes for the other tanks, but those were the main one. Again, they're adding Autocannon update, basically how the damage is displayed on your screen. In short, what happens is it takes a while, if you're firing a fast firing gun, for damage to show up on your screen, as the shells are so fast and they want to display accurate data. I think there's like a little bit delay of half a second or so before you actually see the damage, and the damage appears over on the top of your screen of how much you have actually done. The similar is also being applied to World War II tanks, but not to worry about it. They're all lower tier tanks, except the Equalizer. That's a tier 8. Any else, it's like 2 or 3, but similar change where the fast firing guns, they have the change of how quickly the damage is displayed on your screen. We do have an option now to have a blank emblem. For those of you who don't like the default emblem, they have the option to remove it. And so I guess that's a nice feature. As well as there was a bug where when you're firing multiple weapons, or a tank that supports multiple weapons, and you switch between the guns, sometimes the gun would not fire. That bug has been fixed. That was annoying. And in addition, the Chrome tank that was recently added, its caliber has been updated to 162, and for the gun effects to match. So now you will be able to overmatch the tank, as that was the issue. The gun, even though it shows 162, that wasn't the caliber, but I guess now it is, and the overmatch will work better. Slight changes or to map updates, minor changes here and there, nothing noticeable. But if you want to know about more of the feature updates, make sure to check the video on the end screen. But that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about the season update, as well as the premium tanks for silver. They only last for a day. And as a last resort, if you really want one tank, I think that's what most of us will be able to afford. You can sell unused 2D commanders, as well as some tech tree tanks that you don't use and are just sitting there. But yeah, the only positive, or I guess one of the things from this silver tank, premium tanks for silver, is you can expect a price, or what to expect the price for next year, and you can be more prepared of how much silver you would need, as this was the first time, and it kind of came as a surprise to most people. They were expecting around 20, 30, 50 maybe for tier 10s. So they didn't have that much available silver. So I guess next year we'll be more prepared. Players can be more prepared, but again, that's in a year to go, and the sale might not even come back. So yeah, it is expensive, especially for World War II gamers, not for Cold War so much. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Do let me know about what you think about the update, as well as Cyber Monday sale. And I will catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.